Hello, I'm Shanna. Welcome to Redefining Chair Yoga. So this tutorial is going to be a passive wheel. This is really good for opening the upper back, the chest, the psoas, the hip flexors, and it allows the arms to rest so it's not as hard on the arms, and because it's passive you can hold this longer than maybe you can hold wheel, which allows everything to start to open nicely for you. What you will need is a chair, and for this particular one, it does require a yoga chair, meaning a chair that has no back. Yes, it is an investment piece, but if you really like chair yoga, it is worth the investment. I've gotten my money's worth over and over again for this chair. So, or if you're really handy, some people actually take a regular chair and take the back off. You've got to be really handy. That's some hard stuff. But anyway, I just like this whole backless chair that you can buy online. All right, so this pose requires that you're completely warmed up. Do not do this pose cold, so make sure you warm yourself up. Watching some of our other videos on OmStars and get yourselves nice and warmed up. Also, you may need a bolster or blocks at the front, but you also may need them behind the chair, depending on the length of your legs. This is a pose that you may have to do a couple of times before you figure out where you want your bolster at and where you want your blocks or bolster at behind the chair. Okay. And that would be if your legs, your feet, you find are not touching the floor, that's when you want to put something behind the chair. My feet touch, so I won't be using anything today. So let's get started. Make sure that your chair is on a mat. And you are going to come to sitting with your feet in the hole out the back of the chair. This is why you need the chair that doesn't have the back. It's really uncomfortable on the thighs to have that back of the chair pressing against the legs. So chair without a back. So to get started, you want to shimmy your way towards the edge of the chair so that the bum is on the chair, but most of the legs are hanging off of the chair. From this moment, you might be able to see, okay, my feet, they're touching. There's a lot of room here. I'm good. So to start this, I'm going to hang on to the chair and slowly walk my hands down. Again, slide more towards the edge of the chair. All right, so slide towards the edge of the chair. Now it's just my bottom on the chair, legs off, still holding on. I'm going to make sure that the chair, right, is hitting me right below the wings of my arms. If it's hitting onto the wings, then it's going to be very uncomfortable. I want it underneath where you have the wings and the arms, if you will. All right, so underneath that, so it's comfortable. All right, so from here, I'll start to lay back. So you might have to shimmy a little bit and find that comfortable spot. You may even put a blanket right here on the seat of your chair in order to pad up and cushion up the lip of the chair being on your shoulders. So you might stay here as long as you like. So this is where the bolster comes in. My head is on the bolster, which helps to take out some of that kind of fight or flight that happens if we just let our head completely fall back, right? That happens because in the old times, right, you would protect this part of your neck if you got, attacked by a wild animal, right? So as part of our survival, it's a very vulnerable place in the body. So when we expose it, the body sometimes will freak out, right? So I have my bolster here, so my head is not going back as far as it would if I didn't. And then from here, you can start to let the hands go on the chair. And place your hands down. You can put them wherever you want. Again, this is a very passive position. The arms can just come down. I'm not really pushing into the floor. My feet are just on the floor, grounded. And you hold here. And as you hold, you'll start to feel things start to open up. Might be your lower back, upper back. I'm feeling things starting to move here right around my hip flexors, psoas on the left side of the hip. The longer you stay here, the more things will start to open up. You can play around with your foot position. You can keep your feet right underneath the knees. You might want to start walking them out. When you walk them out, you feel a little bit more in the front of the hips and the psoas and the hip flexors. Without putting any weight in your arms, and you may want to place the hands on the bolster of the floor like you would for a traditional back bend. However, it's not as intense because of the distance of the hands from the actual floor and that they're not right underneath the shoulders in the same way. And you can hug the elbows in and just get a feeling of that without having to put weight on the shoulders. You may even want to clasp your hands, elbows going back, getting a little stretch to the triceps now. You can play around with all these different positions of your arms. Letting everything open up. Stay as long as you like. When you're ready to come up, you're going to take your hands up. Again, grab the sides of the chair. From here, push the elbows down into the chair. Slowly bring yourself up, crawling up the chair. And then take a moment to just sit and feel the body. If you're feeling any lightheadedness from coming up, feel free to just drop the head on the chair and just breathe here. Thank you for joining me. Give that a try. I'll see you next time. Bye.